Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. This is No More Water, Fire Next Time. I have a subject tonight. It's about race, voting, voting for a person because of race. You know, there's many people who are complaining because Barack Obama, who urged black men to vote for Kamala Harris, yet he's endorsing a white woman over a black woman in Virginia, which the two comparisons are really not the same. The black woman is a Republican MAGA woman. When in the past she has talked a lot against black people and our issues. She's used that MAGA talking point. So many people are upset about that. But should black people vote for a person just because they're black, even though their ideology is against and their politics is against our interests? How many times have we said white people vote for white people just because they're white and vote against their own interests? Yeah, we're supposed to do the same. Oh, they use all type of thing like Kamala wasn't black and all. Let me tell you this: Kamala Harris didn't go to that segregated, didn't get bused for a segregated school because she was Southeast Indian. She didn't have to go to the HCBU because she was Southeast Indian. If the police stopped her, they're not gonna say I'm gonna beat the Southeast Indian off of you. They're going after a black woman. So when you cut that foolishness out, I'm gonna get into later about most of the civil rights activists and many of the people who black people look up to are mixed race, have mixed race parents who they didn't even realize, but they don't call them not black. I see pictures of mixed, which is known mixed race people on mugshots who have committed crimes. I don't hear the black people and they say, well, they're not black. Then you will accept as criminal over a president, a vice president, and a presidential candidate, but you'll embrace the criminal. That's some sick thinking. I'm gonna play a video for you, and it's gonna show where the okay. I mean, let me put on my headphones so I can hear this too. But I just want to know what it says. I'm just gonna let this one play out so I can get my headphones.
Now, y'all help me make this make sense. Last year, I saw Obama chastise black men saying, y'all not supporting this Indian woman. Remember Kamala, who wasn't black, is not black. Was, is not. Okay? She's Hindu. She's Indian. But I watched Obama sit there and chastise black men saying, y'all don't want to support this woman. Turn around. Go to Virginia and campaign against a real natural black woman. Y'all listen, this let me know one thing. This ain't got nothing to do with color. This ain't got nothing to do with color. It's either God's side or Satan's side. God's side or Satan's side. Nothing to do with color. Pay attention.
You know what? I paid attention to her and she sounded like a damn fool. You're gonna compare a black woman like Kamala Harris, who had at least had black people's interests at heart, to a black MAGA woman who's down there talking against black people. So, and she talked about color. She's raised, but she said color all the way through. She's angry because he's endorsing a white woman over a black woman. Don't that have to do with color? She said Kamala Harris is not a black woman. Don't that have to do with color? She feel that Obama is a traitor because he should have endorsed a natural black woman over over this white woman. Don't that have to do with color? But then at the end, she get off into her holy rant and said it has nothing to do with color. And that's what her whole post was about. So how can you pay attention to somebody that ignorant? He doesn't have to endorse that woman because she's black and she's against our interests. Tell me this: when Herschel Walker ran, if as ignorant as he was, if he was running against a white man, should black people had endorsed him over that white man, even though he was MAGA and against our interests? Black people are the most conscientious voters. We don't vote against our interests. At least most of us don't. The large percentage of us do not vote against our interests. That's why when they bring all these stars, rappers and singers and actors and athletes trying to get us to vote a certain way, it don't work. Because we don't listen to them when it comes to voting. But they haven't realized that yet. They still parade them out. Black people don't pay attention to celebrities when it comes to voting. But that woman sounds like an idiot. She just don't know how she sounds. All through her whole post was about race. And she said color. Then at the end, she said it's not about race or color. So that shows you what type of mindset she has and what type of rationality she has. Because that was ridiculous. It really was. And she's not all. She's not all. Listen to this. It gets just as ridiculous.
So Barack Obama, dear ones, he has done it again. He never disappoints. The man who was supposedly the great black hope, the melanin messiah himself, he just proved yet again that he is the black face of white liberalism. It's been announced not too long ago, maybe a couple of days now, he's endorsing Abigail Spanberger. She's a white liberal woman who's running for the governor's seat over the black female Republican Winsome Sears. She's a black conservative woman. She's a Marine, and she happens to be the first black woman elected statewide in the state of Virginia. Now, hear me clearly. I don't even like doing identity politics. Actually, that's something that the left does. I believe that if we're going to elect someone, that we should do so on the basis of merit and experience and policies that are just good. Like, I'm all about good ideas. But I'm confused because I thought that we were supposed to believe black women and support black women and vote for black women no matter what. I mean, that's what he tried to do when he was lecturing black men on their hesitancy in voting and throwing their support behind Kamala Harris. And it's weird now because we actually have an authentically black American. Actually, she's a black immigrant, but don't they love immigrants? I thought they loved immigrants and the blacks. So I'm like, she's an immigrant, she's black, she's female. I mean, she's checking so many different intersectionality boxes. You would think that this would be the thing that they'd be celebrating. But no, what I have learned is that the left, they only believe black women when they're reading from the Democrat handbook. You see, when people start thinking for themselves and standing for things like faith, family, and freedom, suddenly the support just evaporates faster than Hunter Biden's memory under oath, because he just can't remember, neither can his daddy. So here's the deal. On today's show, we're going to talk about the hypocrisy of the left and how the indoctrination runs so deep and the Stockholm syndrome runs so deep that this is not.
Of course, you can see she's just a conservative MAGA person. That's ridiculous. She sounds. Now, black people are supposed to endorse this black woman just because she's a black woman. She says she doesn't get off into identity politics. Well, she just did. She started with the left and the right. That's identity politics. He's supposed to endorse her because she's black. That's identity politics. Barack Obama never said he didn't get off into identity politics. Because you know why? Kamala Harris was a black woman who had our issues at heart. But we agreed with. You don't vote for someone who are against your interests, but just because they're black. Do you remember when Harold Washington ran for mayor of Chicago? I wasn't living at the time. I was living there at the time that he won. I was living in Chicago. He won. He ran. I think I know it was at least one, maybe two times. I know it was at least one time before the end. Barely got any black votes. They voted for this white woman named Jane Byrne because they felt she was the better candidate at that time. When he ran against black people voted overwhelmingly for him. You know why? They felt he was the better candidate. They didn't feel like he was at the time, even though he was black. Black people have always been conscientious voters. You see a lot of these people talking about Obama. They just don't like Obama anyway. And you see, she said she's a conservative. The last name is a conservative podcast. So she's gonna talk against Obama anyway. They said they're not talking about identity politics, but that's all she was talking about. The other woman said she wasn't talking about race, but she said color. But that's all she was talking about. So let's show you what kind of mind that they have. No one's gonna vote for a black woman just because she's a black woman. When Obama said black men need to vote for Kamala, which they did, black men voted around 80% for Kamala. Black women 90%. We don't have to be perfect. We all don't have to go to the same. That's still a higher percentage. Black people still vote at a higher percentage for the Democratic candidate than any other people vote for someone. That's one. We don't have to vote the same. Why we gotta be perfect and other folks don't? Look, when black men voted for Kamala Harris, it was 80%. Black women, it was like around 90%. But when you look at the fact that there's many more black women voters than black male voters, more black women in numbers voted for Kamala Harris. So it sort of balances itself out. And if you want men to vote Democratic, stop embracing so many feminist policies. The Democratic Party has embraced so many, has just about let the feminists take it over. And it turns a lot of men off. Now, this is ridiculous to think that you have to vote for a black person just because they're black. If they're the good candidate. Now, I voted for Obama because he was a black man and he was a good candidate. But if he wasn't a good candidate, I couldn't vote for him. Unless he was running against Trump, I'd vote for Lassie. Or I'd vote for Rothweiler over Trump. But tell me this. Trump is not endorsing. That woman is a black MAGA Republican. Did they ever question why Trump is not endorsing her? He won't even mention her name. Black woman. You holler all this about black woman. Why come Trump is not endorsing her? It's because she's black. It's because of identity politics. So we always want to call our own into question and we let everyone else get away. Trump is not endorsing her because she's black. He's really trying to destroy the black society in this nation. So why should Obama endorse someone who's going to help him do that? They don't realize how ridiculous they sound. Most MAGA people don't realize how ridiculous they sound. Because they do not talk reality. They're delusional. That's why I don't even sit by to debate with them because what good is it going to do? They're not going to answer any question, they reflect, won't answer any question, and get personal about stuff to keep from answering the question. Because they know if they told the true answer to the question, they'd have to agree with me. So that's why I left them alone. It's like playing chess with a person who's lost, but keep on trying to move pieces across the board. But you lost a long time ago. And you just sitting there watching them move to pieces because you know nothing they can do. You already lost. Yeah, but they want to sit here and these are people who just don't like Obama anyway. You can tell by his speech. And see, and they think they're really making a fair comparison. Kamala Harris against his compared to some black MAGA woman. All this stuff Trump doing now, Kamala Harris told you he was going to do it. The troops in the streets, the tariffs, destroy the economy, target the black community. She told you all of that. The farmers. She told you her and Biden had put together. I can say her and Biden because Biden was rich. Biden had put together a bill to bail out the farmers. Not the black farmers, though. See, even he was guilty on that. And you can't blame a vice president for that. Because he's a vice president, but the farmers voted against Biden. I mean, I'm sorry, voted against Kamala Harris, but she kept that bill going, even though she should have had some black, before she did have the black farmers included. But the farmers voted against her. Now look at them. That's why I hope they lose everything. I hope the black farmers can buy their farm. But they need to include the black farmers because she couldn't at that time. She could have had an input. See, a lot of people don't realize what a vice president's job has always been. They said the vice president's job used to be to get up in the morning, call over to the White House. If the president announced and still alive, you done for the day. Because it was the time the only thing the vice president did was wait for and see if his time or his or her time come up. I tell you when the vice president started being relevant with Barack Obama, with Hillary Clinton. Not Hillary Clinton, with Joe Biden. He had Joe Biden doing a lot. And that's how the vice president became relevant. Before the end, the vice president was irrelevant. They, like I said, just had to call over the president, still alive. The vice president had nothing else to do. And Kamala Harris was president for a while. A lot of people don't realize that. She was the first black woman to serve presidential duties. Remember when Joe Biden was sick and he had to go under anesthesia? Well, he had to sign over the office of presidency to Kamala Harris for a few hours. So technically, she was the first black female president, technically speaking. But look, I want to play one more for you. I'm gonna see this man. Oh, that's so ridiculous. And they can't bring up a valid point. Now listen to this foolish. For why he was dissolved. He wants you to read
God have mercy upon us.
I don't know if you had time to read that. Let me dissolve. You can see it. And he really think he says put up something smart.
God have mercy upon us.
Okay. They want you to enforce a black woman, just any black woman, no matter what her policies are, even though everything she said is detrimental to the black community. But they're supposed to vote for her because she's black. She's a black MAGA who has spoken against black people and the policies and who has spoken for policies that will harm the black community. I would have loved to see Herschel Walker run against a white man. What would you have done? Endorsed him? Voted for him? Because he's black and that man is white, no matter how ridiculous he was? Well, I knew many ignorant people who just think they're bringing up a valid point, but they're not. Still talking about that woman wasn't black. You ask white people if she wasn't black. Some of them will say it when it came time election time, but they just anything they agree with you then just not get elected. Ex those mulattoes and those black people back then, and the police was beating them. The light skinned black folks got beat by the cops and unalive by the cops, just like the dark skinned ones did. They had to pick that cotton just like the dark skinned ones did. The only person who make that distinguish is us. Let me show you else who had who had mixed parents, but you don't bring it up because you only bring it up against people who you want to bring it up against. Like I said, those guys in those mugshots who's mixed race, you don't say nothing about they're not black. Homie Plessy, an educator and civil rights leader, mixed race. Thurgood Marshall, Supreme Court Justice. W.B.D. Du Bois, mixed race. Frederick Douglass, mixed race. The NAACP founders. Oh, Barack Obama. You know who else? Malcolm X, mixed race. And I'm going to tell you one you may not even know about, whose father is white. Minister Louis Farrakhan has a white father. So you pick and choose who you want to say is black and who's not. Do you hear anyone saying, oh, about Farrakhan, oh, he's not black? You don't say it about Thurgood Marshall or Malcolm X. It's just when it's somebody you don't like anyway, then you want to bring that up. When you see Pookie and Ray on the mug shots and they're mixed race, you don't never say, oh, they're not black. But you claim criminals rather than claim a president, vice president, and a woman who's running for president. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the white people and the Latino and all the other people against Kamala Harris, you see how they talk against her? They don't do that because she's Southeast Asian. They see a black woman. The people who run this, they see a black woman. And that's what matters. You sitting up at home talking that mess don't mean nothing. But the powers that be see a black woman. With Obama, they see a black man. You wouldn't even know Obama was mixed race if it wasn't told. Let's see you go to Farrakhan and say, oh, you're not black. He's from, either Trinidad or Tobago, and his father's white. You're not going to say anything about him because you like him and agree with him. You're not going to say that about Malcolm X and Thurgood Marshall. See, the people you like, they're black. The ones you don't, they're not. This is a ridiculous conversation, really, because what you and I think they are don't matter. It was the power. It's what the powers that be, those who control things, think they are. We just got an opinion. They can make some things happen on certain issues. The people who can affect the change are the only people who can judge. Everybody else's is just an opinion. If we watching a talent show, I said number 1 should win. You said number 5 should win. All we're giving is our opinion. But those people sitting behind the desk with those numbers in front of them, those are judges. They can affect the outcome. That's why they are called judges. Whatever everyone else says is just an opinion. The people who are in control, what really matters is what they think. You may have thought some of those light-skinned mulattoes back during slavery and back in the 19th century that they weren't black. But the white folks did. And they ran things. And they treated them just like they did the other black people. They treated Kamala Harris just like they did the other black people. You know what? Trump and the MAGA treating this black woman that's running for governor, who's a MAGA person, this Republican black MAGA woman, they're treating her just like she's black by not endorsing her. But you didn't hear neither one of them say, why come Trump and the MAGA people are not endorsing her? They only talk about the fact that Obama is not endorsing her. But never say anything about why come the MAGA people are not endorsing her. They don't even mention her. But they want to jump all over Obama because they don't like him anyway. See, people only speak against people they don't like. People they like, they shut up and don't say nothing. I'm not like that. I can like a person, but even if I feel Obama was wrong, I'd have to call it out. But I don't think he is. I think he's absolutely right. No one's gonna put a MAGA woman in there to help the Republicans because she's black. That don't even make sense. If these supposed to be the people I don't know about the man because he didn't sit there. All he did was sit there and laugh and point up at a picture. But the two women, they were articulate, seemed like they learned women, but their rationale is ridiculous. They're delusional. Maybe they should have just put up a picture and laughed too, as crazy as they sounded. Black people cannot vote against our interests just because the person is black. You know what they used to call a person like that? The black woman down in Virginia that Obama wouldn't endorse? They would call her a collaborator. Everywhere else, you want to unalive and do all type of things to collaborators. But in a situation like this, you want black people to back the collaborator. That's what you're asking. That's what they're asking Obama to do, to endorse the collaborator. She's a collaborator in MAGA, in the Republican and Conservative Party. I mean, they're not conservative anymore; they're MAGAs now. She's a MAGA collaborator. So why should Obama endorse her? It don't even make sense. But they think they're saying something smart. Now, on to another topic. The courts have said that Trump has to release those SNAP emergency funds, and he's agreed to do so. So people may be getting their SNAPs soon, which is good. But one thing a lot of this is doing, it's exposing a lot of hypocrisy. Remember how they always made it seem like it was black women getting all the food stamps. They the welfare queens. They're lazy, won't work. They found out most of the vast majority, the majority of food stamps are going to white people, overwhelmingly. And they're not getting no little $200-300 a month. This one white woman, she was getting. I showed it the other day. I showed the video. She was getting $10,100 in benefits every month. That's 6 figures. That's 6 figures. That's over $140,000 a year. See, I never worked. Well, why would she have to getting that kind of money every year, sitting on her butt making babies? Why would she have to work? She said that she don't know what she gonna do now. You let me feel entitled to get this. Now you want to take it away. She really thought it was everyone else's fault but hers. But see, they made you think it was just black women doing it. See, during Reagan term, that's when they started the welfare queen thing, because there was just one black woman, just one, who played the system. And they tried it like it was all black women. But look, you think a black woman would rather sit around, I'm talking about the average black woman, I'm not talking about one with some mental problem. Listen, I'm talking about the average black woman. Want to sit around and just collect meager welfare benefits and food stamps rather than be gainfully employed. And most of those women don't stay on welfare that long. I know you could point to some, so they've been on their generation, been on all that, but we're not talking about them. You know the majority of folks don't do that. And most of the people on welfare, not on welfare, but get food stamps to work anyway. They just don't make enough, so they get SNAP benefits. But they said the majority of white people getting SNAP benefits. I can't say the majority, but many of them were middle class and upper middle class getting SNAP benefits. And you know what? Many of them were men. There was this one man, there was so much fraud going on with them, which they never could really prove it against black people except that one woman. There's going to be fraud in anything. Why do we have to be perfect? Everybody expect we're supposed to be inferior, but yet everyone always expect us to be perfect. If we do one messed up thing, we deserve everything we got. Anything people do to us is okay, cause we did this, and that's how many people like black conservatives. That's how they talk against black people. Talk about our inferiority to things we may not do correctly right, but who does? No one does. I can speak against you. You can speak against me, and we look around on each. We're gonna find some on each other. No one does everything perfect. If you're looking for it, takes a petty person to go around looking for it. Do you know there's this one black woman? I'm gonna get back to these white people and their fraud. But there's this one black woman, they're talking about sending her to jail because she had a bake sale and she bought some of the ingredients off of her link card. Now, who followed that woman around to watch something like that? Or who snitched on her? But why be that petty? They'll find some white person who committed a crime, a serious crime. Oh, we don't want them to be, they have a family, they'll be away from their family. What about this woman being away from her children over something petty like that? Who would even waste their time on that? Who would even think of that? We're gonna prosecute her because she bought some she bought some flour and corn flour and sugar and ingredients for a bake sale. Now that's getting downright petty there. Okay, back to that welfare fraud. There was this one white man, he was getting $4,100 a month just in food stamps for his 4 kids. How many black folks you know getting that kind of money? His 4 kids said he's not gonna work. He's not gonna go out and work because he wants to stay home and be with his kids. On the white woman that's getting the $10,100 a month said she'll get off before she'll work 20 hours a week. I wish I could work 20 hours a week over 6 figures. Then there was this one white woman. She was getting food stamps and had a 2025 BMW. They said I may have to sell my car. Then she must have paid cash for it if she can take it and sell it. They've been beating the system all the time, but they put it on us. A lot of them are living horrible lives, but they made it seem like they were all doing just great. Put my Cash App and PayPal up. Yeah, I forget to do that. But they made it seem like they were doing just great. And they're living horrible lives. And even the ones talking about going to start their own town. Most white people live in all white towns anyway. Black people don't live all over this nation. You go in any state, except maybe a few southern states, black people don't live all over the states. They live in large metropolitan areas. You can go to any little town. People talking about blacks angry because we're doing it. We don't care. Because what they talking about we're doing? We're going back to the land. We're going to live in cabins. We're going to herd goats and sheep. Excuse me. So what black person want to do that? A black person is going to need a condominium or the townhouse, or even living in a project be better than that. Go live in a log cabin and sure herd some goats. They said they still have sundown time. Most black people don't know where they at because we don't care. We wouldn't be there. Them low hick towns, we wouldn't be there in the daytime. In the daytime, let alone at night. Most white people don't even want to come to. You know what they're doing? They want us to be upset. That's why they say and do the stuff they do, trying to upset us. I know it's even on social media now. Black people just ignore them, don't even pay them any attention. They look like some fools. Yeah, but don't get it twisted. We're not the villain here. They are. And to that MAGA woman, Trump is trying to defund black people. They've already defunded us, really. They thought they stop affirmative action that would hurt us. That didn't. We wouldn't get much from it anyway. Oh, I know some women lost their government jobs, but when you work to get things from the government gives, the government takes away. Because they were seen as a double minority. That's why they was giving jobs when black men weren't. But Mr. DEI, that's just a rebranded name for affirmative action. But what they didn't realize is that mostly white women was benefiting from those programs. So that's when they called themselves hurting us. Said that we didn't pay any attention. They're doing everything to trigger us, to get us out in the street to clown. That's what they want. And you know what they're doing now? With many of those people, they say people could be walking around peacefully, nothing's going on. The ICE people have video cameras. People just walking by their own business. They shoot off some tear gas into the people to get the video to make it seem like as though there's some violence going on. You're dealing with some diabolical people here. And we don't need no black woman getting in there with them and want to add her to it. These are some diabolical people. And people got to be a fool think that someone's going to put in that black woman because she's black, even though she's going to help Trump agenda. And he won't even pay her any attention. And she's still talking his talk. Obama endorses who he wants to, just like you can. I guarantee you one thing, why come you didn't endorse Kamala? You ever ask people that? People don't never ask folks why come they don't endorse or vote for the black candidate. They don't ask black people what did you vote for Obama because he was black. At that time I told them yeah. And he's also a good candidate. And so I would ask white people, are you not voting for him because he's black? They couldn't give a reason. See, people always want to call for our actions into question, but they never call the other folks' actions into question. They've been voting for white men all this time. Did they ever ask the question, why come all the men been white? Why come you only voted for white men? But they always want to question us about our vote. We vote however we want to. And we endorse whoever we want to. Just like you're doing. Now, this woman, you could tell she was conservative, that podcaster. Did she question why the white folks voted for Trump? Because they know he's going to bring about a white supremacist agenda. And they liked that. That's why the black people voted for Kamala, because they knew she was going to work in their interest. And Trump is not even working in the white folks' interest. He's hurting them more than us. Most of his policies are hurting them. We vote for our interests. Other people don't. We endorse people who espouse our interests, not those who don't, no matter what color they are. Like I said before, when Harold Washington was in, um, when he ran for mayor of Chicago, first black mayor of Chicago, the black people didn't vote for him. He barely got any votes. Second time he ran, they voted for him overwhelmingly. Because then they felt he was the better candidate. But yet when he ran for mayor of Chicago, they talking about the black people voting for him because he's black. Yeah, that's a reason too also. But he was also a better candidate. Now they didn't vote. The black people didn't vote for him last time. Nothing was said about that. He got 35,000 votes the last time. And you know, for a city like Chicago, that's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. But when he ran the first time and lost, no one questioned about why the black people voted for the white woman, Jane Byrne. I still remember her name. But yet, when the black people voted for the black man, now their vote comes into question. But he won most of the black vote through Puerto Ricans. But no one ever questioned why the white people and all them why they didn't vote for him. Why come they didn't vote towards him? We have to quit letting people call us and question that they want to spank us on what we do. Yet everybody else get a pass. We need to start spanking them on what they do. Throw the questions back at them. Because I know I've been places and then I would be on panel like when they couldn't get me. You know they always revert to? Do you repudiate Minister Louis Farrakhan? So what they got to do with what we're talking about? I told you this the other night when they did this. But I'm just saying this again to show you how they try to tell us what we got to do. I asked him, do you repudiate Charlie Kirk? Do you repudiate Mel Gibson? And because of what Farrakhan said about the Jews, I said, no, because I believe every word Farrakhan said, and I can add some more to it. Quit playing scared with these people. And because Mel Gibson cursed out the Jewish cop, told him Jews were responsible for modern wars, and he used to go around Hollywood asking Jews, "Are you an oven dodger?" Like they dodged the ovens at Auschwitz in Germany from being gassed. He always talked hateful stuff against the Jews, but you hear nothing. But you know what happens? It's really not the Jews who make a big thing about it. It's white people. Whoopi Goldberg said Hitler didn't kill Jews because they were white, because he's white too. He killed them because they were Jews. Isn't that correct? I've heard many people say that. She had to beg forgiveness to keep her job. And they tried with David Chappelle, but he's still strong. They left him alone. But look, we gotta do what we're gonna do. Don't be worried about what other folks say. That's including some of these delusional black people. Now what black person in their right think you want to join the MAGA movement? When everything they've done has been against us. They're not trying to stop the browning of America. You know what they want to do? They want to stop the blackening of America. They weren't worried about brown people when they were voting Republican and wouldn't vote for black candidates. They only got concerned about it when they voted for Barack Obama. That's the only time they became concerned about brown people. But I'm not concerned, but I'm only concerned about black people. To tell you the truth about me. But those same brown people hate us too. I lived around them out in LA for years. Can't stand it. The Africans either. Couldn't stand it. They get in their own little communities and won't have anything to do with black people. Talk against us. Speak to one of them, they won't say nothing. Now you're talking about we're all black. Yeah, we are. But not the way you're saying it. You're not part of our group. Get your own group, like you said. I'm not Jewish. I'm Ghana. I'm from Ghana. I'm South African. You never would want to admit you was black. You separate yourself from us. Oh, now Trump talking about sending troops to Nigeria so they slaughtering the Christians. Do you actually think Trump is worried about black Christians over in Nigeria? And they're not just doing it, it's not the government doing it, it's a group. And they're doing it they're doing it to the Christians and the Muslims and other groups, not just the Christians. The United States, let me tell you why they're doing it and why they're trying to go into Venezuela. The United States has messed itself up with most of its trading partners. The United States needs natural resources. Venezuela produces some of the most oil down in Central America. That's why he want to go into Venezuela. Nigeria has become the largest oil producer in that region because they nationalize their oil, which means they don't send it out to get refined. Then the people sell it back to them at 3 times the cost. They're refining it themselves now. That's why Trump want to go in there. You know Trump don't care nothing about no black Christians in Nigeria. He don't care about the white Christians over here. He just use them when he can. He don't care about anyone but himself and his rich buddies. And would throw them under the bus if necessary. Yeah, he'll throw them under the bus if necessary. He'll throw Melania, his wife, under the Trump if necessary. Vance any of them, he don't care about anyone. And I don't really think he's the one doing things. I don't think he's really one making decisions and running the government. He don't have the mental capacity. I believe it's with that Stephen Smith and Vance doing all of this because Trump don't have the mental capacity. He can barely put 2 and 2 together. Yeah. So those videos I played you earlier about the people angry at Obama because he's endorsing a white woman who's a Democrat, liberal Democrat, over the conservative black woman who's a MAGA person that talked against black people. Now, this first woman she talking about, she said, see, they'll hold on to their liberalism. He voted over a white liberal woman over this black woman. But she didn't say MAGA black woman, conservative black woman, who talks against black people. But wasn't she doing the same thing? She's endorsing this MAGA woman over the liberal woman. Everything she said Obama was doing, she was doing the same thing. So I know that would be a crazy podcast to watch because she's not going to have any facts. She's going to go off of feelings. The woman before her went off of feelings. The man, you don't know what he was going on. He just sit there and laugh. He was too stupid to even talk. When he had that post up there, he put the post up because more than like he may not have been able to read it. Seemed like he was pointing up at it and laugh. He really looked stupid. But the stuff they say they're insinuating is so ridiculous for us to try to endorse some a MAGA black woman over this white woman who, at least if she don't look up for our interest, she won't be voting with MAGA and supporting the MAGA agenda. But we got enough people doing that already. I wouldn't endorse it just to keep another MAGA person from getting in. But they can't see that. Because they may be, well, they could be MAGA themselves. And if they're MAGA, no telling what they would say. We have to, but she talk like this black woman, Kamala Harris, a black woman too. When they get up off of it. Like I say, you don't see Mr. Louis Farrakhan, you don't say he's not a black man. His father's white. Malcolm X's father white. Thurgood Marshall, mixed race. Frederick Douglass, W.B. Du Bois. Those are all mixed race people. But you pick and choose who you want to say is black or not. regardless of who you like or not in your feelings. I guarantee you one thing, when white folks and the other folks who voted against Kamala Harris, when they looked at her, they saw a black woman. You black folks may sit and talk that stuff. They saw a black woman. Just like when they had them mulattoes and them mixed race, those are light-skinned black people out there in the fields working alongside you. They saw all black people out there. Now the people working in the fields may have saw a difference. Those who run it, they don't see a difference at all. So I agree with Obama for endorsing that white woman over that MAGA black woman. We do not need another black MAGA person to be out there being a foot soldier for Trump and backing up what he would want done in Virginia and put more troops in there, even though Trump haven't even acknowledged that black woman. He hasn't endorsed her. He haven't mentioned her name. He's not thinking about her. Yeah, so, but they didn't say anything about that though, did they? The fact that Trump won, she's MAGA. If anyone's supposed to endorse her, it should be Donald Trump. He won't endorse her, won't even mention her. But you expect Obama to endorse someone who's completely the opposite of what he stands for? She's completely opposite of the democratic principles? And he's supposed to endorse her because she's black? Come on, get up off of it. And anybody who sits there and talk all this stuff about Kamala not black, I don't even have time for that. When they come to me, then when we talk, I say, look, I'm not getting off into that foolishness. If that's what you got to talk about that, this conversation is over. Talk to somebody else. Because if you want to say she's not black, that's just how you want to feel. You can't prove she's not. Prove Farrakhan's not black. Prove Malcolm X is not black. And W.E.B. Du Bois, Minister Louis Farrakhan, I have to give him his title. But he's one of the blackest men in this nation, even though his father was white. Malcolm X, he's mixed race. I say mixed race because I don't know if it was his mother or his father. Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois. Most of the people who have done things for black people were mixed race. Angela Davis. So, if you're going to do that, we haven't had Marcus Garvey even got on them about W.E.B. Du Bois, because he was mixed race. That wasn't none of his business. He was from Trinidad. He did some great things for black people. But see, one thing about black people, we love to call each other out too much. See all these black celebrities calling each other out. For what? Let that stuff go. People are not perfect. You can call somebody out on everything. But people got to be perfect? Or you going to call them out and try to front them in front of everybody? Then somebody, I don't snitch. You snitch all the time. You just don't snitch on criminals. But you snitch on everybody else and about everything on everything. You just won't snitch on crime and criminals. You give them a pass. Yeah, the MAGA people, they will not tell why Trump won't endorse this woman. But they say something about Obama not endorsing her. I don't blame Obama. I wouldn't endorse it. And the next time you see a mixed race person mug shot, don't comment about this black guy, this nigga. You never say they're not mixed race. Maybe Trump was right. Black folks like people in mug shots. Since he got a mug shot, he'll be a favorite among black people now. That was an insult, but some people took that as a compliment. That was really an insult to black people. But you got some idiots who took that as a compliment. He's trying to say now that he's a criminal, you identify with him because you're criminals too. And some of you feel proud behind it. So how ridiculous a lot of people think, like the people on the video. One would say it's not about race, but that's all she talked about, all on the video, was race. Then get off into her holy thing. And what God should have got, God gave us power over this. Who we choose the president, God gave us that authority. And you see, whatever you bind here, he'll bind in heaven. Whatever you lose here, you lose in heaven. It's our choice to pick our elected leaders. That's our choice. You're not going to come down here and throw somebody on us. If that's what you're waiting on, you're going to be disappointed. I'm not going to hold you long tonight. I just started about all these people talking against Obama. And you know, there's an election tomorrow. And I like to see how this goes. I'm going to go and vote tomorrow for the local. Let me see if we have an election here for the local office. See, we have to vote for these local offices also. And many of you say, "Oh, voting don't count. They're not gonna do nothing for me." You see, many. You know why Trump won? A lot of black people stayed home, didn't vote. Now look at what you got. Had you went out and voted, you'd be getting your food stamp. Those 300,000 black women would still have their jobs. You wouldn't have these tariffs that's going to bring a lot of prices, and these store shelves will begin to get bad. You can't hardly get anything delivered on time now. Even Prime making some. Their delivery is getting less than. It's a perfect delivery. Even this getting messed up. I just got something today that I should have gotten Friday from Prime. I was tracked to sitting in the Granite City warehouse for 3 days. Prime never did that before. Most of the time they ship it overnight. But still, we can't vote against our own interests, even if the person is black. That's just like saying you can slap in my face if you're black, but not if you're white. It's still gonna hurt. It's still gonna hurt. If a black person helping to enact MAGA policies, that's gonna hurt. If she become the governor of Virginia, it's gonna be a problem because she'll allow National Guards to just walk right in. She's gonna serve the Trump agenda. This black MAGA woman. That's the things they're not saying on. It's too much she's conservative. No, we're past conservative. The Republicans are not conservatives anymore. They're MAGAs now. That's their new ideology. See, Trump is no longer just a man. He's an ideology. He's almost like a cult. He's an ideology. That's why when they was taking him to court, he was winning all the time. You had judges. You saw those judges ruling in his favor on ridiculous things. A lot of them were MAGA and supports his ideology. But if I have a choice against voting for a MAGA person or a white person, I'm going a white person who are against MAGA. I'm voting for that white person. And you can vote for. See, suffering is still suffering if it's at the hand of a white person or a black person. It's still suffering. And this black woman, she's going to help further the MAGA cause if she's elected. That's why I hope she lose big. Well, but I'm not going to hold you tonight. I thank you for tuning in, but go vote tomorrow, wherever you're at. And they're voting in your area. area, make sure you go and vote. Because it counts, because MAGA is trying to put people all the way down to the city council level. We can't let that happen. So go out and vote. No matter, don't just think, oh, this is just a small election. We need that too. Because they're going after the small offices also. The city manager's office, the city council, the mayors, offices on the county level. MAGA going after all of them. And the Republicans been doing this for years, gerrymandering. The Democrats just not still voting on it and still voting on it and thinking about it. You saw what they was doing. You should have been doing it years ago, right along with them. It's like they was in the chess game, moving pieces, and you're not moving nothing until you get towards the end. The Democrats don't seem to want to move on anything until it become popular all over the news. We're getting tired of press conferences. We want to see some action. You hold these press conferences just to tell us what these people do. We already know that. We looked on the internet and saw it. We don't need you to keep telling us what they are and what they're doing. We already know that. We need you to do something about it. And black people need to form our own party. The Democrats are looking weak and pathetic. All they're doing is making speeches. The MAGAs are cleaning your clock. That's why we don't need another MAGA now. Obama did the right thing. Don't need that woman in there. All she did was talk against black people. But because she's a black woman, you're supposed to vote for her. If Obama talked against black people when he was running, would you endorse and vote for him? I wouldn't have. If Kamala Harris was doing that, I wouldn't have voted for her. That's one I wouldn't have voted for Trump. But I would have just leave that part blank, leave the presidential part blank. I sure wouldn't have voted for Trump. So that's why he hated Biden so much. Biden the only person that beat him. Trump can only win when he run against women. Because much of the country don't want a woman president. They won't come out and say it. Especially the white males and the Latino males. They don't want a woman president. And it's not going to be a woman president anytime too soon. Don't let people get you all hyped up. We're not going to have Kamala say she may run again. It would be a waste of time. This nation is going to be quite a while before this nation will elect or even ever, or may not ever happen, a female president. We just have to be for real about it. Well, I'm not going to hold you long. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. Thank you for tuning in to No More Water. Fire. Next time. And be sure to like and share. If you're on YouTube, like and share for me. You're on Facebook. Give me a like so Facebook can see. Same on YouTube. Like and share it. Now, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.